Please join me in another round of applause for the St. Martin of Tours Choir. Thank you. St. Martin of Tours is an independent mission school and one of our 24 middle schools in our McGuire Middle Schools program. More on that in just a few minutes. It is now my distinct pleasure to turn this evening's program over to McGuire Foundation's new President and CEO, Megan McGuire Nicoletti.
Thank you so much. That was so beautiful, girls and boys. Thank you so much for singing for us. You started the night out so beautifully. Good evening and congratulations, McGuire Scholars. I am truly honored to be part of such an inspiring night. It is such a privilege for me to speak to you on behalf of the McGuire Foundation. St. Joseph's University has been a part of my family since 1958, when my father achieved his college degree. Since then, many members, including myself, have also experienced the gift of a Hawk education. We are so grateful to come home tonight to celebrate the McGuire High School Scholars. Thank you, St. Joe's. Thank you for hosting us and for partnering up with us to give us so many students the opportunity for an excellent Jesuit education. Tonight, it is a distinct pleasure for me to introduce to you a remarkable leader with an exciting vision for this incredible institution. In July 2015, Dr. Mark Reed became the 28th and first lay president of St. Joseph's University. Coming from Fairfield University, he spent his tenure involved in all aspects of academic and student life, including administration, finance, strategic planning, and external affairs. He earned his bachelor's degree in mathematics from Fairfield University, his master's degree in secondary educational administration from Boston College, his MBA from Fairfield University, and his doctorate in higher education management from the University of Pennsylvania. The list of his accomplishments is impressive, and I could keep going. However, allow me to share a few fun facts about this noteworthy leader. As a child, Dr. Reed attended St. Albert the Great School and St. Joseph's Prep. His favorite subjects were history and math, and his love for mathematics and his heart for teaching keeps him in the classroom, even as a university president. As a father today of two beautiful girls, he and his wife, Kate, enjoy spending time with their family in Cape May, New Jersey. Dr. Reed's career may have briefly taken him away from Philadelphia, but like all of us from Philly, we always find our way home. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Reed.
Thank you, Megan, for that very kind introduction. I must say I got a little nervous when you said fun facts. I was wondering what I was going to learn about myself or have revealed to 1,000 people tonight, but thank you very much. I am honored to be here as a new group of McGuire Scholars embarks upon a new academic year, and I'm pleased to welcome all of you, your families, and all of the representatives from our partner schools to Hawk Hill, to St. Joseph's University. And we welcome, of course, our great friends, the McGuire Foundation founders, Jim and Franny McGuire, Megan, their daughter, Tim, their son, the entire extended McGuire family, and Foundation Executive Director, Amy Holtzman, and of course, these wonderful students who we will hear from in a few minutes. Mr. and Mrs. McGuire understand the value of education, especially Catholic education, the opportunities it creates, the doors it opens. I've heard Mr. McGuire say on more than one occasion, St. Joseph's changed his life. Mrs. McGuire went back to school in the 1970s to study nursing and remains a fierce advocate for education. Since its founding in 2000, the McGuire Foundation's focus has been to improve people's lives by investing in education, the arts, and humanities, and relief of hunger and homelessness. As you all know well, the Foundation partners with institutions and organizations to provide families of need with scholarship assistance and grants to grade school, high school, and college. And they do this because they know education builds a strong foundation for success. Mr. and Mrs. McGuire's belief in the transformative power of faith and justice-based education has prepared countless students, just like you who are here tonight, to make positive contributions to society. Now, whatever path you choose after high school, and we, of course, hope SJU is a consideration for many of you, please take advantage of this opportunity that the McGuire Foundation provided you. Education is the key to your future. I can tell you I wouldn't be standing here today if it wasn't for the education that I received and the sacrifices that my family made for me. It's an investment in yourself that will pay off, so long as you, of course, put in the work. Now, Mr. and Mrs. McGuire continue to put in the work and are role models for our student body here at St. Joseph's and for all you McGuire scholars here tonight and for all those McGuire scholars literally across the country as we speak. As you may know, Mr. McGuire is a graduate of St. Joseph's in the class of 1958, and 56 years later, the university bestowed honorary degrees upon Mr. and Mrs. McGuire, so we are proud to count them both as alumni of St. Joseph's University today. And my hope is that the McGuires will inspire you, as they have inspired me, to leave lives of service to others. So on behalf of all of us, I want to express my appreciation to Mr. and Mrs. McGuire and the Foundation for what they not only do for St. Joseph's, but more importantly, what they do for the advancement of Catholic education in the region. So congratulations to all the McGuire scholarships. Have a great academic year. Welcome to St. Joseph's. And when you leave here tonight, remember that the hawk will never die. Thank you very much.
Well, good evening again, McGuire scholars, parents and families, school presidents and administrators, McGuire family and friends. My name is Amy Holtzman, and I am the Executive Director of the McGuire Foundation. Welcome to our 4th annual McGuire High School Scholars Celebration. This year, we welcome 658 McGuire High School scholars from 35 high schools. Would our student ambassadors please stand up and represent? Thank you, thank you. We're here tonight to welcome our newest scholars into the McGuire Scholars Program, to celebrate your accomplishments and to illuminate the opportunities available to each of you as part of the McGuire Scholars Network on your path towards, through, and after completion of your higher education. I am honored to continue to execute the vision of the founders of the McGuire Foundation, Mr. and Mrs. James McGuire. Joining us here this evening, in addition to Megan McGuire Nicoletti and Dr. Mark Reed, are 2 of our McGuire Distinguished High School Scholars, Karen Herrera from Archbishop Bryan and Thomas Sweeney from Archbishop Wood. In addition, we have Taylor McHenry, graduate of Cristo Rey Philadelphia High School and a McGuire College Scholar at Widener University. We are also honored to hear this evening's keynote speaker, who has come far to share his personal story of his journey, Tim McGuire. Our newest 25 McGuire Distinguished Scholars, the top 20% of their junior class, should have received their blue ribbons when they arrived this evening. Please stand up and be acknowledged. Stay standing for just a minute, because I'm going to ask the returning senior McGuire Distinguished Scholars to also stand up and join them. Seniors who are Distinguished Scholars, please join them. We congratulate you for your academic achievement and continued dedication to your success. Thank you. Our goal, once you become a McGuire Scholar, is that you remain a McGuire Scholar throughout the duration of the program. Our intention is to create a pathway. You start in middle school, get selected in high school, and then compete to be a McGuire Scholar in any of our McGuire Scholar colleges. Our first senior class is graduating this year, and we hope that each of you apply to be selected to be a McGuire College Scholar. In that vein, we're pleased to welcome the Pennsylvania College Advisors under the leadership of Bob Freund and Grayson Norcross. We have our 3 advisors here this evening. Ariana Soledar-Winsell, Allison Hoffman, and Xander Levitt are here to help support our senior scholars in their efforts towards college access and success. And while we're at it, would all the McGuire High School seniors please stand up? So without further ado, it's now time to hear from the scholars themselves. In this order, we're going to call up Karen, and then Thomas, and then Taylor.
Hello, my name is Karen Herrera. I'm currently a senior at Archbishop Bryan High School. I would like to begin by expressing how honored I am to present this speech to the McGuire family, the McGuire Foundation, new and existing McGuire scholars, their parents, and families. It seems like yesterday I began my freshman year at Ryan. I was terrified. I managed to get lost various times, even though I was one of the freshmen that would carry a map of the school with me to figure out where I was going. However, what I would distinctly remember about starting my freshman year was when Mrs. McPeak, the Ryan admissions officer and an incredible woman, called my mother and I into her office. She surprised me with the news that I had been selected by the McGuire Foundation to represent Archbishop Bryan as a McGuire Scholar. I was very thankful. I knew my family really appreciated the financial aid, and I appreciated being recognized as a scholar because of my academic achievement. I knew my parents wished to give me the education offered by a Catholic school that not only highlights the importance of their students achieving future success, but also never forgets the significance of maintaining a close relationship with God, who makes all possible. The McGuire Scholarship has helped my family tremendously in allowing me to continue attending school at Ryan. But what really makes them stand out from other scholarship organizations is its genuine interest in its scholars and their improvement. I remember meeting Mrs. Megan McGuire at Nicoletti in my freshman year, where she advised my fellow scholars and I to not only keep our grades up, but to also become involved in our school and community. She continued to come twice yearly from there on, each time checking on us. I remember telling her, "But I can't play any sports," to which she replied, "Well, if you don't play anything, you can definitely run." I finally followed her advice, and at the start of sophomore year, I joined my school's cross-country team. I have found a new interest since. I love running. Complimenting Stephanie Smith's visits, who took over for Mrs. Megan McGuire, Nicoletti, are regular events the foundation plans that focus on the college process. Organized at different colleges in the Philadelphia area, the speakers at the events include admissions officers, recent college graduates, and more, all giving the scholars relevant and timely advice as college application requirements change along with the SAT. They have informed us and our parents of all the online tools available, like Big Future and a Price Calculator, to guide us through the college process, avoid any confusion, and satiate the common fears that seem to accompany the word college in high school students. The McGuire Foundation also makes getting involved in our community easier through opportunities offered in the summertime. This July, I spent 2 weeks volunteering at Project Home. Located in Center City, the nonprofit organization whose slogan is "None of us are home until all of us are home" works on ending chronic homelessness for all people, no matter their situation. I was able to join the outreach team in their work on the streets, speaking directly to the homeless to offer them food, water, shelter, as well as information about Project Home to make known to them that there is hope for a new beginning. Additionally, I volunteered at the Stephen Clyde Wellness Center, where part of what they offer to the homeless are showers, clean clothes, and other hygienic essentials. My experience also included hearing success stories of people who managed to get on their feet. They now work a job, own their own house, and reunite with their loved ones. Spending 2 weeks meeting these homeless people, working with them, and communicating with them was eye-opening, and I thank the McGuire Foundation for providing me with the information to that humbling opportunity, as I probably would have never known about Project Home and how it could play a part in their mission. I strongly encourage all new McGuire Scholars this year, as to all McGuire Scholars, to take advantage of all the great opportunities the Foundation is so kind to offer to us. I personally want to thank the McGuire Foundation for its generosity and interest in the success of my future. You have truly helped my family and I. Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. and Mrs. McGuire, members of the McGuire Foundation, my fellow McGuire scholars, and family and friends. I would like to thank Mr. and Mrs. McGuire and the McGuire Foundation for giving me this opportunity to speak tonight. Being a McGuire scholar means the world to me. As long as I can remember, I have always wanted to go to Archbishop Wood High School. My brother and cousins went there, and I had attended several Wood sporting events and open houses while I was still in grade school. I really loved it, but I also knew my family couldn't afford it. So it was a blessing when my family and I were notified that I had received the McGuire Scholarship to attend Archbishop Wood. For this, I am forever grateful. Ever since I can remember, I have been a part of a track and field team. My brother was a runner on the team, so I felt like I had to do it because every little kid wants to be just like their older brother. My brother was a distance runner, so naturally, that's what I wanted to do. I was an average runner, but my coach knew something wasn't right. He knew I wasn't really having fun out there. He encouraged me to try the high jump, so I tried it out and I was immediately hooked. At the end of my first season as a high jumper, I made it to the Archdiocesan Championship at Franklin Field. There, I met a kid named Ryan, who actually won the event that day. Since then, we have been rivals in everything we do. We are now both attending Archbishop Wood as teammates first and rivals second. This friendly rivalry has given me a competitive edge in every aspect of my life. I began to work as hard as possible in everything, from high jump to schoolwork and work. We are both capable of jumping 6 feet in the high jump now, so we're even, but come springtime, the true champion between us will be determined. Ryan has turned into more than just a high jump rival. He has become a lifelong friend. Just as Mr. McGuire's 2nd and 6th steps say, be passionate about your dream. If you don't love it, you'll never make it. And surround yourself with winners in business and your personal life. Ryan is a winner, a friend, and a rival. This passion for what I do and my competitive spirit made me even more determined to succeed in what I love, the high jump. The McGuire Scholarship has also offered me the opportunity to visit several colleges and universities during my junior year. These visits not only exposed me to the feel of a college campus and college life, but they also prepared me for my college search. Through these events, I learned about the College Board website and how to search for colleges based on things that are important to me. I learned about the Khan Academy and how I could best prepare for the SAT, and I even got tips on how to write a great college essay. Just by being on these college campuses helped me to learn a lot about myself and further develop my goals. This all harkens back to Mr. McGuire's first step to success. Just show up every day. This is the simplest yet most important step to success. All you have to do is just show up with an open mind and be ready to listen. I do not know where my future will be just yet, but I do know that through the guidance of the McGuire Foundation, I'm prepared to make the best decisions and succeed. That's what the McGuire Scholarship means to me. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Taylor McHenry, and it's my honor and privilege to be before you guys tonight. A little bit about myself. I was born and raised in West Philadelphia by my mother and grandmother. I attended Catholic school all my life, and I'm a proud graduate of the first ever graduating class of Crystal Ray Philadelphia High School. Growing up, things weren't always easy, but my mother and grandmother made sure I had the best possible education. My mother is a single parent who works 2 jobs to put my sister and I through school, so my grandmother took on the role of being my missing parent. They would always tell me the importance of my education and how far it could take me. Being taught these values allowed me to grow into the person I am today and gave me what it takes to be awarded this scholarship. I first heard about the McGuire Scholarship from my guidance counselor when I started looking for colleges September of my senior year. I worked hard to think of just the right essay for my scholarship, and apparently my hard work paid off. Words can't describe how blessed I am to be selected as a McGuire Scholar. Being awarded this scholarship has allowed me to go to my first choice college, Widener University, to pursue a degree in psychology pre-physical therapy. Without this scholarship, I wouldn't be able to attend this institution, so grateful may just be an understatement. Receiving this scholarship has helped me to become closer to becoming a physical therapist. I chose this career path because I'm an athlete and I know the feeling of being injured and having to work your way back to where you want to be. I asked multiple people to read my scholarships and help me with my applications. I spent long nights in my room typing, deleting, and retyping my essays. Whenever I needed motivation, I called my grandma and she would pray for me to help me see the full picture. Asking for help when I needed it and always doing my best allowed me to be before you guys tonight. I wanted to leave one message with you guys, and that is to work hard and to pay it forward. Be that motivator that someone else needs. Help someone else be able to reach your dreams just like the McGuire Foundation has allowed you and I to reach ours. Thank you.
Thank you. I've dismissed Taylor because she has an exam tomorrow to get ready for, and she's got to get back to Widener. So thank you so much. It is now my distinct honor to turn the program over to McGuire Foundation's founder, Mr. James J. McGuire.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and good evening, a special good evening to our 658 McGuire Scholars. I am truly honored tonight to introduce our guest speaker, my son, Tim. Tim flew from the West Coast yesterday to be here, flying back tomorrow morning, and it's an honor to have him here. Tim is one of my 9 children. He's married to his wife, Julia, in the front row here, and Julia even flew in at 4 o'clock this morning to hear her husband speak. Tim and Julia have 2 children, and in addition to Tim graduating from St. Joseph's University with a Bachelor of Science degree in 1993, Tim is a competitive athlete. He's a competitive triathlete. Tim has done 13 Ironman competitions, 13. He's also done 2 Hawaii Ironmen. So he's done 13 Ironman competitions and 2 in Hawaii, which is, in case you don't know what an Ironman is, it's the most challenging athletic event for competitors in the country, any sport. It's the most competitive and it's the most enduring. So, plus, Tim has proven not only that he's a great athlete, he's proven that he's a great businessman also. Upon his graduation in 1993 from St. Joseph's University, I asked him to pack up and go to the West Coast and establish a presence for the Philadelphia Insurance Company on the West Coast, which Tim did immediately after graduation. Now, if we fast forward 23 years, Tim went out there with a secretary, and under his leadership, today there are 16 offices on the West Coast. There are 300 employees, and there's $600 million of revenue, all established through the leadership of Tim. Thanks to Tim and the leadership of people like Tim, Philadelphia Insurance Company has grown to become one of the 400 best companies in America by Forbes magazine. So obviously, I'm so proud to introduce my son, a world-class athlete, and my business partner, Tim McGuire.
That was a great introduction. Thank you very much. That's basically my story. Good evening, presidents, administrators, faculty, proud parents, and distinguished McGuire scholars. Congratulations on your outstanding academic achievements. Your hard work and dedication to academic excellence has created a strong foundation for you to have a successful life and a bright future. I'm honored that my parents asked me to speak tonight. I'm going to share with you my personal story, and it's a little bit deep. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. I remember the first time I saw that movie, Forrest Gump. I laughed, I cried. I loved that movie so much because I felt like I could relate to Forrest Gump. You see, growing up, I used to wear the same leg braces that Forrest wore. And I remember riding the bus to school, and the kids used to tease me. But like Forrest, I loved to run. Running was my passion. I played all kinds of sports growing up, football, basketball, baseball, but running was my true love. I remember one day I was watching the Hawaiian Ironman on TV, and I dreamed that someday I would do that event. The Hawaiian Ironman consists of a 2.4-mile swim, a 112-mile bike ride, and a 26-mile run. And the temperature on race day is usually 100 degrees. And believe it or not, people actually pay to do this race. I had another dream when I was a child. I remember my father coming home from work late at night, dressed sharp in a coat and tie, and I asked him one night, "Dad, what do you do?" He said, "I'm an insurance executive." I had no idea what an insurance executive was, but I knew that one day I would be one, because I wanted to be just like my father. My father was my hero growing up. I'm sure that a lot of you can relate to that. And then I went off to high school, and my priorities changed. I started to make a lot of bad decisions. What started as drinking and partying with my friends soon spiraled out of control. By the time I was a senior, I started slipping in my studies and in sports. The few years after high school were a complete blur. My life really became out of control. I got arrested a number of times for drinking-related offenses. I failed out of 2 colleges, and my weight blew up to 225 pounds. All my hopes and dreams were completely lost. I remember one day, I woke up in bed with my brother Chris. I said, "Chris, how come we're in bed together?" He said, "You don't remember last night? You told me you were going to kill yourself. So I slept with you to keep you safe." I was 23 years old, and I hit rock bottom. Makes me think of another line from Forrest Gump when I reflect back on that crazy time in my life and the decisions that I was making. Mama said, "Stupid is as stupid does." I wasn't stupid, but I was making some stupid decisions. Thank God I have 2 amazing parents that were there for me when I needed them most. They encouraged me to get help for my alcohol problem, and on June 6, 1992, I checked myself into rehab. And when I was in rehab, I had what I believe was a life-defining moment. My parents came out to visit me one afternoon for Family Therapy Day. We were sitting in a big room full of complete strangers, and my father was asked to share with the group how my alcohol addiction affected them. I'll never forget his words. He said, "I love him so much, and it just breaks my heart to see him waste his life away. He has so much potential. If he could only see what I see in him, he would not be doing this to himself." And as he spoke those words, he started to cry. I'd never seen my father cry. And I knew at that moment that I was going to change my life. I made a decision never to drink alcohol again and to achieve my true potential. That was 24 years ago, 3 months, 22 days, and about 9 hours. Not th- and I'm still going strong. I got out of rehab, and I started to put my life back together. I went back to college, and I graduated from the #1 university in America, St. Joseph's University. The day I graduated, I ran out to the parking lot here, and my car was parked with all my personal belongings. I had a Nissan Pathfinder, and I drove out to California. I was so excited to start my new job as the sales representative for Philadelphia insurance companies that I made it out to California in 2.5 days. When I got out to California, I had a 200 square foot office. I didn't have any employees, and we didn't have any business. But like my father always says, surround yourself with winners. I was fortunate. I hired a lot of great people, and over a 15-year period, we built the territory into an amazing business in itself. There was about 300 employees, 15 offices, and $600 million in premium. While I was pursuing my dream career at Philadelphia Insurance Companies, my brother Jamie and I, Jamie was the CEO, Jamie and I started the Philadelphia Insurance Companies triathlon team. And that other dream of doing the Ironman, which was once an impossible dream for me, now seemed very possible. In 2006, Jamie and I set off to do the Hawaiian Ironman Championship race. And that race was a lot like my life. There were ups and downs throughout the whole day. I came out of the water, and I was running up the steps, and I slipped, and I fell, and I bruised my thigh really bad. But I got up, and I continued on to the bike course. And about 100 miles into the bike course, I was delirious and dehydrated, and I didn't think I could finish the bike. And then I saw my parents on the side of the road cheering me on, and they gave me the energy to continue on. When I got to the run, I felt excited because running was my passion. But then 18 miles into the run, I hit the wall. The pain in my stomach was unbearable, and I got down on the side of the road and I started throwing up. And a friend of mine came by. He said, "Great job, Tim, you're looking good." It's like, I'm looking good. But I dug down deep, and I gave it everything I had, and I finished the race. And that day was a day that I'll never forget. And to do that race with my brother, Jamie, made it even more special. As my father said, I went on to do 13 Ironman races and over 50 triathlons. And every race that I did was similar to the struggles that I experienced in my life. There were peaks and valleys in every race. And because of that, there's a poem called The Race that I'd like to share with you today. It's close to my heart. The whistle blew and off they went, young hearts and hopes afire. To win, to be the hero, that was each young child's desire. And one boy in particular, whose father was in the crowd, was running in the lead and thought, my dad will be so proud. But as he sped down the field across a shallow dip, the child who thought to win lost his step and slipped. Trying hard to catch himself, his hands flew out in brace, and mid the laughter of the crowd, the child fell on his face. But as he fell, his dad stood up and showed his anxious face. This to the child so clearly said, "Get up and win the race." He quickly rose, no damage done, behind a bit, that's all, and off he ran with all his might to make up for his fall. So anxious to restore himself, to catch up and to win, his mind went faster than his legs. He slipped and fell again. He wished then that he had quit before, with only one disgrace. I'm hopeless as a runner now. I should not try to race. But in the laughing crowd, he searched and found his father's face, that steady look that said again, "Get up and win the race." So up he jumped to try again, 10 yards behind the last. If I'm going to gain those yards, I've got to run real fast. Exerting everything he had, regaining 8th and 10, but trying hard to catch the lead, he slipped and fell again. I've lost, so what's the use, he thought. I'll live with my disgrace. But then he thought about his father, who soon he would have to face. Get up, an echo sounded low. Get up and take your place. You were not meant for failure here. Get up and win the race. Get up, it said. You have not lost it all, for winning is no more than this, to rise each time you fall. Everyone in this room will experience setbacks, challenges, failure. That is part of life. It doesn't matter whether it's addiction, financial hardship, or health issues. What matters is that you persevere in the face of adversity. Failures are nothing more than an opportunity to grow and to become stronger. When I was in that dark place 24 years ago, there were several life lessons that helped me pull myself out of that difficult spot that I was in. I want to share these 3 life lessons with you today, and I promise you that these simple lessons will not only help you overcome any adversity, but they will bring you confidence and genuine happiness in your life. Pray to God every day. Have a close relationship with God and your family and loved ones, because when you fall, they will help you get back up and get back into the race. Nurture your God-given talents. It was great to hear you talk about discovering that you had a talent for running. We all have talents. Know your talents and use your talents every day of your life, because that will bring you joy in your life. And dream big. Shoot for the moon, because even if you come up short, you will land among the stars. Everyone in this room has so much potential. Just like that therapist, just like my father told that therapist 24 years ago that I had potential. You were strong, you were smart, you were part of this elite group, the McGuire Scholars Program, and you have potential. Your success in life will not be determined by your failures. Your success in life will be determined by how you respond in the face of adversity. Yes, we will fall in life. We all fall. But what matters is we rise each time we fall. Thank you very much, and God bless.